Hi everyone, it's Elisa Tilsner. I'm Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I've created, this is my last video actually. I always stumble over my words when I start, but this was the last video that I did, and I was actually showing how to colour with our Stampin' Write markers, the watercolour markers. And I've had a few questions about how I did the background. I did explain it in my video, but I didn't actually go through the process, or I just sort of said what I did, but I didn't actually go through the process of how I did it. So I've had a couple of questions on, can I show everyone how I did it? So yes, I can, and I'm going to. So I am, for those two particular colours, I'm going to show two different ways of doing it, which will give two different looks. So I'll be using Pool Party and Pacific Point, which is the two colours I've used in that one. And at the end of the video, I'll show you some other ink blending cards that I have made. Now, I am bringing back in my very, very messy scrap paper because, as you can see, it's already been well and truly used. I might just turn it up the other way. I think the other side has got where I was doing other colours. So I tend to keep going with my backing sheets until I can't go any further. So the other thing that I am using is these makeup brushes. Now I got these from Kmart. They were $12 and there were 3 in the pack. So this one I'm using for blues. This one I have used for oranges and warm tones, and this one I have yet to use. I think this one will be good for stenciling, so I'm going to have a play with that shortly, I think. I do think that I would like to get another set of them though, because I do like this size. My friend Paula over in New Zealand, she's got a couple and she's just put like a colour tag around them, so one's for blues or cool colours, one's for warm colours. So I think I might have to adapt and take her approach for that as well. So the first, and I also have a microfiber rag. This is just one of the you know, when you buy your cleaning kits, they sent me a gazillion of these microfiber cloths. So I have just got one, and that's how I clean it. And then every once in a while, I will actually run it under the tap and try and get a lot of that ink out. So, but generally, I find a clean space on my backing sheet here, and I can see that there's no colour coming off on there, so I'm happy to use it. So I'm just doing a square of 10 by 10, mainly because I still have my coloured lotus flower, and I should make another card with it, right? So I'm going to start the way I did it first in my video, and I may speed some things up depending on how long it's all taking. So, and this is an old linen ink pad way back from 2006 when I joined. So this one is an older one. Actually, I think both of them might be older ones, I'm not sure. So just going around, and I did re-ink this one not long ago. So just picking up that colour. It doesn't actually look like it's picking anything up. Now to do this one, you want to make sure that these fingers are clean, because you will get ink splotches if you are not careful. So I usually work from, excuse me, the bottom, and I work my way up. So for this particular one, I started at the bottom. I see it doesn't even look like I've got anything on my brush there, but I do, I promise. And then I just keep on working that up. See, now you can see. And for this particular card, I started heavy at the bottom, and then I just let it fade about, what's that, 2/3 of the way up, and then I didn't put any color. And sometimes you need to sort of start in the middle, work your way up. And I like a lot of color down. I like really bold, colourful cards when I'm doing this. So you can choose to go light, or you can choose to go heavy. It's totally up to you. Sometimes I go in circles, but it is pretty quick. Okay, actually I'm going to do both of them at the same time. So just so that I've got my colours out. So that's the step version 1. Now another way that you can do it is to try this way. All right, because normally I do my whole sheet. So this one, I'm going to start off my card and I'm going to come on and I'm just going to do that section there. I'll do a little bit more. So you can do this technique with our sponges. You can do them with our brayers. It's all the same type of technique. It's just a different method of applying them. Okay, so this is an old ink pad as well. So now I'm taking my Pacific Point and I'll just pick that colour up as well. So the first one, which is the one that I did in my video, and then I just put that straight over the top. So this is where you really need to make sure that your fingers don't have any ink on them. Okay, and then you just put that over the top and you don't go all the way up, you just come a partial way because you don't want to cover everything that you've just done. And then we want to keep that fairly solid down the bottom here. So you'll notice that each time I apply more colour, I don't take it up as far. And that's how you'll get your gradient happening, like that. Okay, I'm just going to pop that one outside. And so this is the one where we're doing them in stripes, so the colours will probably be quite different. Okay, now what I tend to do is just give that a quick rub on my microfiber, and I can tell that most of my colour is out because I want to come back to my light Pool Party now, and I'll just continue to work on this one because it's here. And then for this particular one I will go over the top of the two, just a little bit, just to blend that in, and then I will bring back this one and I will do the same to that. So I'll bring the two in together shortly because you can definitely see that they are the colours are quite different. And then sometimes I even like to go in again. So it's just like I'd like to have that blue just up a little bit. Okay, and then I'll come in with this one a little bit more down the bottom. I always, whenever I go from a dark one into a lighter one, I usually give the sponge a little bit of a clean. The makeup brush, whatever you're using. If you're using sponges, you know, you've got one for your dark, one for your light, you just switch your sponges. If you're using the brayer, the same thing. There's two heads that you can use. Okay, so let's see whether we can see the difference between, I might have to get rid of that so that you can see the difference between the two. There's a little bit of a difference, but you can see it. This one is more true to the Pacific Point, and this one has changed slightly in colour because it's got the other colour underneath it. So you can see that when I stamped my Pacific Point for this one, it's completely different colour to the one down here, whereas had I done it in two separate layers, that colour is closer to the real, because it hasn't got a colour underneath it. So there's two different ways that you can do that depending on what you want to achieve. So just bear in mind that if you're stamping a sentiment and you want the same colour, then doing your layers like that is probably going to be closer match than layering up your colours. But sometimes I find that, you know, I'll put my colour down and I go, yeah, I think I want to change it a little bit, which is what happened with my lily card. I decided that I didn't want that colour all the way and I wanted to add some deeper colour. Now, one thing that you can do if you want a little bit of ink splatter that look, because you know, our inks do react to water. You don't need just distress inks. So I will choose one. Maybe I'll choose this one. And all I do is use my aqua painter, and I squeeze my barrel. So I don't know whether you can see that or not. I squeeze my barrel so that my nib actually floods, and generally you'll get one off. Then I just use that, because it's got a fair bit of ink, a fair bit of water on the brush, that will give me big splatters. And then you just allow it to dry for a little bit, and then if you feel like you need some more, see, look, that's reacting straight away. And if you feel like you need some more splatters, then you can do some. If you want some lighter splatters, don't have so much water on your brush, etc. So you can, and the distance, you know, from where you're flicking also makes a difference with what sort of water spots you get. But what I do recommend is always drop that first bit of water off to the side, because if it lands on your card, then you'll end up with a big squish of water. Okay, so a few other cards that I have done in the past that I still actually have is this one here, and I think that this one was pretty well just one colour. I think it was just one colour. And then I've done this one, which was, I think it was Pacific Point and Blueberry Bushel. I think you can tell I enjoy the blues. And then of course this one that I did was Mango Melody, and I think I only did 2 colours, and it was Calypso Coral at the top. I'm pretty sure it was just 2 colours. And I have one more which I have blended 3 different colours together that are not in a gradient, but I've given that one away, so I will, at the end of the video, which will be pretty well now, I'll actually put a still photo of that one. It's using the Magnolia stamp set. And I think I've gone from blue into yellow into something else. I can't even remember. But yeah, so that's how you can do ink blending with our Stampin' Up! Inks. So it's pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel. So that would be mostly appreciated. But we'll see you in the next video. Bye.